a bustling city street, teeming with people and activity. A woman, face etched with weariness, walks on the edge of the crowd. 12 years of suffering have taken their toll. She clutches a shawl tightly, hiding her shame. Whispers of Jesus' miracles reach her ears. A flicker of hope ignites within her heart. She believes a simple touch could change everything. The crowd surges forward, a sea of faces. She pushes through, determined, yet hesitant. Her eyes search for him, the healer, the hope. The noise of the city fades into a dull hum. She focuses on the figure in the center of the throng. Jesus, surrounded by followers, moves slowly. She sees the hem of his garment, within reach. Her heart pounds in her chest, a frantic rhythm. Doubt wars. With faith in her weary mind, she remembers the years of pain and isolation. This is her chance, her only chance, she thinks. She reaches out a trembling hand. Almost there. The crowd presses closer, making it difficult. She strains to reach just a little bit further. Her fingers brush against the fabric, soft and worn. A surge of anticipation courses through her veins. She closes her eyes, praying for a miracle. A child bumps into her, nearly knocking her over. She steadies herself, refusing to give up. She sees a mother with a sick child, pleading. Their shared suffering creates a silent bond. She pushes forward again, with renewed resolve. The air crackles with an unseen energy. She imagines the healing power flowing from him. Her fingers graze the tassel of his robe. A moment of intense focus, a silent prayer. She believes with all her heart, all her soul. The sun beats down on the crowded street. She feels a strange warmth emanating from him. The faces around her blur into a single mass. She is lost in her own world of hope and fear. She remembers the doctors who failed her. She remembers the shame and the loneliness. This is different. She feels it in her bones. She inches closer, drawn by an invisible force. The scent of incense fills the air. She sees the compassion in Jesus' eyes. A single tear rolls down her cheek. She is almost there, so close to her goal. The crowd is thick, a wall of bodies. She whispers a prayer, a plea for mercy. She reaches out again, her fingers outstretched. She is a woman on a mission, driven by faith. She believes in the power of his touch. She hopes for a new beginning, a fresh start. She dreams of a life free from suffering. She sees the light shining on his face. She is ready to take the leap of faith. She focuses all her energy on this one moment. She will not be denied. She will be healed. She is a daughter seeking her father's embrace. She is a woman reaching for salvation. She is hope personified. In a crowded street, the woman pushes through the crowd, her eyes fixed on Jesus' robe. She reaches out a trembling hand, desperation etched on her face. Her fingers brush against the edge of his cloak. A fleeting touch. A jolt of energy surges through her body, unexpected and powerful. The bleeding stops instantly. 12 years of suffering vanish. Relief washes over her. A wave of peace she hasn't known in years. She almost smiles, a quiet triumph in the crowded street. Suddenly, Jesus stops walking, a puzzled expression on his face. He turns to the crowd, his voice clear and resonant. "Who touched me?" he asks, his eyes scanning the faces. Confusion ripples through the crowd. People murmur amongst themselves. The disciples exchange glances, unsure of what is happening. Peter steps forward, a practical look on his face. "Master, the crowd is pressing against you. Many are touching you." He gestures to the throng, highlighting the obvious chaos. Jesus shakes his head, his gaze unwavering. "Someone touched me. I felt power leave me." His words hang in the air, a challenge and an invitation. The woman freezes, her heart pounding in her chest. She realizes she can't hide. She's been discovered. Fear mixes with gratitude, creating a potent cocktail of emotions. Her hands tremble uncontrollably. She feels exposed and vulnerable. She glances around at the sea of faces, all eyes on Jesus. Each step forward feels like walking to her own judgment. She takes a deep breath, preparing to confess her act of faith. The noise of the crowd fades as she focuses on Jesus. She pushes past the last few people, her path now clear. Her legs feel weak, but she forces herself to keep moving. She lowers herself to her knees, overcome with emotion. She bows her head, unable to meet Jesus' gaze directly. The crowd watches in anticipation, their whispers silenced. The disciples look on with curiosity, wondering what will happen. Jesus waits patiently, his expression compassionate and understanding. The woman gathers her courage, ready to speak her truth. She begins to confess, her voice trembling at first. "I touched your cloak, Master," she admits, her voice gaining strength. She looks up at Jesus, her eyes filled with a mixture of hope and fear. She recounts her 12 years of suffering, the endless bleeding. She explains her belief that touching his cloak would heal her. She describes the moment of contact, the surge of power. She tells of the instant healing, the cessation of the bleeding. The crowd listens intently, captivated by her story. The disciples are amazed by her faith and Jesus' power. Jesus listens with compassion, his eyes never leaving her face. He sees her pain, her faith, and her vulnerability. He understands the desperation that drove her to act. He prepares to respond, his words carrying weight and grace. The woman awaits his judgment, her fate hanging in the balance. The air is thick with anticipation, the silence almost deafening. Jesus extends his hand towards her, a gesture of acceptance. He smiles gently, his eyes filled with love and compassion. He is about to speak, ready to offer her healing and peace. The crowd leans in, eager to hear his words of wisdom. The disciples watch with reverence, knowing they are witnessing something special. The woman's heart swells with hope, her spirit renewed. She feels a sense of peace she has never experienced before. She is ready to receive whatever Jesus has to offer her. The moment of truth has arrived, the climax of her journey. All eyes are on Jesus, waiting for his pronouncement. The woman kneels before him, her faith unwavering. The woman trembles, realizing she can no longer hide her active faith. She takes a hesitant step forward, her eyes downcast. The crowd parts slightly, creating a path to Jesus. She falls to her knees at Jesus' feet, overwhelmed with emotion. Her hands clasped together in supplication, knuckles white. Tears stream down her face as she begins to speak. Her voice is shaky, barely above a whisper. "I touched you, Lord," she confesses, her voice cracking. She recounts her 12 years of suffering, the relentless bleeding. She describes her isolation, the societal shame she endured. Her voice gains strength as she speaks of her unwavering belief. "I believed that if I could just touch your cloak, I would be healed." The crowd is silent, their attention riveted on the woman. Some look at her with pity, others with curiosity. Jesus looks at her with compassion, his eyes filled with understanding. He gently reaches out and touches her hand. "Daughter," he says, his voice filled with warmth, "your faith has made you well." The word daughter resonates deeply within her heart. It signifies acceptance, belonging, and love. A wave of peace washes over her, calming her fears. She feels a profound sense of gratitude towards Jesus. She looks up at him, her eyes filled with tears of joy. "Go in peace," Jesus continues, his voice gentle, "and be freed from your suffering." She slowly rises to her feet, her body feeling lighter. The bleeding has completely stopped. She is healed. She takes a deep breath, feeling the fresh air fill her lungs. She stands tall, no longer burdened by shame or pain. She looks out at the crowd, her eyes filled with newfound hope. The crowd murmurs, witnessing the miracle before them. Some reach out to touch her, offering words of encouragement. She smiles, radiating joy and gratitude. She is transformed, both physically and spiritually. She is ready to embrace a new life, free from suffering. She turns back to Jesus, her heart overflowing with love. She bows her head in reverence and gratitude. Jesus smiles at her, acknowledging her faith. He turns to the crowd, his expression serious. "Your faith has made her well," Jesus proclaims loudly. The crowd erupts in cheers, praising God for the miracle. The woman steps away from Jesus, allowing him to continue. She walks through the crowd, no longer an outcast. People reach out to touch her, celebrating her healing. She smiles and nods, sharing her joy with everyone. She exits the crowd, leaving behind her old life. She walks towards the horizon, a new chapter beginning. The sun shines brightly upon her, symbolizing hope and renewal. She is forever changed by the touch of faith. She will never forget the kindness of the compassionate healer. She continues her journey, a testament to the power of belief. Her steps are confident, her spirit soaring. She is a daughter, healed and loved. She is ready to face the future with courage and grace. She will share her story with others, inspiring hope. She will live a life of gratitude, honoring Jesus. She is a beacon of light, shining brightly in the world. She is a symbol of faith, hope, and love. She is a living testament to the power of healing. She walks on, forever changed by a single touch.